Hey guys.
Hey Rich.
Rich. There's as you know, we talk about this stuff all the time for mini camps, and we have all week long. There's guys who are holding out, there are guys who are holding in, and there are guys who are being held captive. That's one of them too. And that one is Kirk Cousins. But proof of life is he held a press conference with Atlanta, showed up to the mandatory minicamp. We all understand he's not going to be the starter. It's Michael Penix's gig. He's still there. Nobody is knocking on Atlanta's door to give draft compensation to Atlanta and picking up some of his money to bring them to their spot yet. And now with Rodgers showing up in Pittsburgh, that takes up at present the last spot for Cousins to essentially say, I want to go there. Or will he actually say, I want to go there? I want to go somewhere else. He has a no trade clause he wants out. But he's still there. And this was the back and forth with Kirk Cousins about his situation on Tuesday.
Kirk, I feel like we've heard from everybody else that you would prefer to be somewhere else where you can start, but we haven't heard that from you. Is that accurate?
Obviously, you'd love to play, but I'm not going to dwell on things that aren't reality. In terms of, that's not the situation I'm in. So it's better spent to be focused on the situation I'm in and controlling what you can control, and I think that's the right mindset to have.
Have you expressed that to the team, to the executives here, though, that would be your preference if they could get it worked out?
Certainly there were conversations in January, February, March, but even April. But we're moving forward now. I think timeline-wise, just like in the season, we'll be asked questions, and I'll say those are February questions. And I think even off season now, that's a February question where you say, those are things we talk about, months ago, and now we got to move forward.
May I interpret for you?
Please.
It sounds like Arthur Blank told him you're going nowhere. That's what it sounds like.
Yep. Yeah.
Because he basically said, I'm only talking about the situation. That's not what the situation that I'm in. Well, the situation that he's in is he wants to start somewhere else. Exactly what the reporter who asked him the setup question, he's in that situation. He does want to go start somewhere else. He does want to go play somewhere else if he can't start where he currently is. But he's like, I that's not the situation I'm in, because he's been told he's going nowhere. Most likely by the ultimate decider. So if you want him, come get him. I think he'd be interested if it's a spot that he's interested in. But until then, there's nothing to talk about. That's what it sounded like. And, can you blame Arthur Blank for holding on to him? No. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Not with the amount of quarterbacks this league goes.
We've been saying that for years.
Certainly he's paid all this cash out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the amount of money that he's owed is far less than what he's already been paid. You never know, like in the NFL, Brock Purdy is a $50-some-odd million a year quarterback right now. And a few years ago, he was the last pick in the draft who San Francisco didn't have the belief in to put him in meaningful games, to the point where they told a guy who was 19th on the depth chart, who took him to a Super Bowl, whose playbook basically got taken away. Hey, after all this, we kind of want you to stick around because we need you as insurance. He wound up playing because Trey Lance got hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo then got hurt, and Brock Purdy got in. So you never know when you're down to quarterback 3 in the NFL. And if you already paid Kirk Cousins, it makes complete sense. But that's why Cousins isn't saying to the reporters, yeah, I want out of here. Because what's it going to do to me right now? It's not like, I'm going to put pressure on Arthur Blank. It's not midnight yet. It sure looks like Atlanta is more than willing to go into the season. They've been saying it all along, and everybody thinks that they're just not going to pay a backup that much money, because nobody ever pays their backup that much money. But they also don't usually pay the quarterback that much money to start and then draft a quarterback in the ensuing draft 7th overall. You don't see that either. I mean, this whole thing has been completely unorthodox from the beginning. So it makes sense for Atlanta to just keep playing this thing out. They might go into the season with him. And if somebody's quarterback gets hurt, Like, for instance, heaven forbid, any quarterback that has a veteran right there who they're trying to win the Super Bowl with right now, and whoever's behind that person is a young player who's not ready, that veteran quarterback gets hurt in training camp. They are calling the Atlanta Falcons on the spot. And perhaps getting more money from this team and more draft compensation for this team for Cousins than they would get right now. That's my interpretation of what I just heard from Kirk Cousins and what's happening in Atlanta. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.